Yes? Interesting.
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
I'd like to know more about your friend, the one you lost to the bloodburn.
I'm not sure what there is to say. She was my friend, and the bloodburn took her. Hence, I joined you. That is all there is to say.
There's something I've been wondering. How can you kill for a living?
What do you mean? How can I align it with my morals?
Yes.
I don't know if this is the right moment for this conversation. Maybe another time.
Let's
Yes,
see.
Corporal? How can I help?
Can you tell me more about your abilities? What's it like to be a dreamweaver?
Well, I suppose trying to explain that to someone who isn't is like explaining what water feels like to someone who never swam before. It's strange. I can sense things. Emotions, thoughts, but also the echoes of such. If I enter a place where someone has died, I feel that person's sorrow, that person's fear. My mind, my consciousness, it's open. I know that might sound very vague, but it's the best I can do.
Goodbye. Understood. Now wait, aren't you...
Scryer Elion from Leonon. Yes. I'm the Scryer Finrior and Merilith sent to lead the Moorhere troops who'll be supporting your cause. Actually, I was hoping you'd come by. I think we should have a talk, shouldn't we?
You owe me an apology.
That's putting it lightly. Many men and women died that day. And just because of me. Which is another reason why I'm happy they sent me here. It's a chance to make up for what I did. Though that does not mean that your commander, General Noria, didn't also play a role in this. His reputation was well known, even among us.
Can we talk about what happened in Leonon?
What more is there to say? I suspected your general would order to purge the village, and I overreacted. It was a stupid mistake, and I wish it hadn't ended that way. Though I somehow doubt that we could have come to a diplomatic solution anyway.
I would like to train the elves.
Well, if you have the coin, I might be able to help. Let's see.
Got it. Will do.
Corporal? Need anything?
Tell me a bit about your time on the road. What was it like?
Is that a command, Corporal?
Please?
All right, but I'm afraid there isn't so much to tell. Have you ever been on the road by yourself?
A long time ago, yes.
Well, then you know how wearisome it can get. Sleeping under the stars sounds romantic at first, until you realize that most of the time it's sleeping in the mud, in drizzle. Most of the time, your stomach and your purse are empty, and your feet are full of blisters. And, of course, there's the constant danger. Especially if you're traveling on your own.
Did you ever have a companion?
Some, yeah, but most of it was just temporary. Though there was one I traveled with for longer. Quentin.
How did you meet?
Coincidence. A small town between Finn and Mir and Lar. We played dice together and he cheated. When I called him out on it, he tried to turn tail. But one of the other guests stopped him for me. They wanted to go give him a beating, but I told them to stop. He gave me back my money and we started talking. And, believe it or not, we found that we got along quite well.
So you started traveling together? With a thief?
I wouldn't call him that. He was just young and careless. We ended up traveling for almost a year.
I see. What was your relationship?
You mean... No, we were just friends. He was way too young for my liking, and I think I was too old for him. We were more like sister and brother.
What was his story? Where was he headed?
Into the blue, same as me. He had quite an interesting task, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing it with you, to be honest. He wouldn't want that.
Huh. So, how did you split up? What happened?
Nothing dramatic. We came by a village and decided to rest there for a while. The roads had become quite dangerous due to the mage wars, and we didn't want to go out unprepared. I did some healing for the villagers, and he helped out the local smith. He liked it, and the smith wanted him as an apprentice, so he stayed. I was surprised and a bit hurt at first, but then I realized it was probably for the better. I still think of him sometimes, though.
Huh. And how did you make a living?
That was the easiest part. I healed people.
With light magic?
Yes and no. It was my magic that mended the wounds, but since mages are often met with suspicion, how shall I say, got a little creative. Frankly put, whenever I treated someone, I gave him a magical potion to drink, which was just water mixed with some harmless herb to give it color. The rest was laying on hands to help the potion's effect, which was pure light magic and how I did the actual healing.
And that worked?
Better than you'd think. People were fighting over my panacea as if I was Ellen incarnate, while cursing the evil defilers who had caused this war. Ironic, isn't it?
Do you miss it sometimes? The vagabond life?
Well, we're still vagabonds somehow, aren't we? But I know what you mean. And yeah, I sometimes do. The wind on my skin, the vastness of the wildlands, and the fact that all you have to think about is the mile ahead of you. It's another world. There was this one night I'll never forget. I had made a camp at a clearing, set up campfire, and I was leaning against a tree, slowly drifting toward sleep. Then, all of a sudden, it started to rain. Not just the usual drizzle, it was bucketing down, drowning everything, the earth, the noise, the plants around me. My first impulse was to jump up, to find shelter, get my things into the dry. But I didn't. Instead, I saw. I don't know how else to put it. All of a sudden, there was this deep sense of peace. As if all my life I had been chasing something without knowing it myself. And in that moment had found it. So I just watched. I sat there and I watched. That feeling lasted until the sun came up. And then I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was gone.
That sounds beautiful.
And a bit dramatic. But yeah, it was beautiful. I've never felt something like that again.
And what do you make of it now?
Truth be told, I don't know. But it changed something. Even though I cannot say what it is.
Goodbye.
To this day, the Shaper's magical and technological prowess remains
Tahar, may I help you with something?
What exactly is it that fascinates you about the Shapers?
Oh, Tahar, that's quite a topic. I don't mind sharing, but are you sure you want to go there?
I am. Tell me.
All right. Well, where do I start? You see, the Shapers have always fascinated me. They're all over Io. These remnants of a once so glorious civilization. Yet for some reason, so many people are almost oblivious to it. On the one hand, of course, that's very sad. On the other hand, it also makes it a lot more exciting. It's like I'm a treasure hunter, only that everyone else fails to see the treasures around us. Tell me, Tahar, when seeing all of this, don't you sometimes feel like you're exploring a childhood dream? The kind of world the poets and the bards always spoke of?
Sometimes, yes. It's dark, but also fascinating.
Absolutely. But this childish fascination was only the spark. The more I studied the Shapers, the more enthralled I became with their culture. Did you know that at the pinnacle of their existence, they ruled over all of Io? A global empire with no one to oppose them.
You seem to consider that a good thing.
Oh, good, bad, the world doesn't work like that. Of course, there are writings that hint at the fact that the Shaper Empire wasn't all rainbows and unicorns, but still it was stable. And it persisted for tens of thousands of years. Can you imagine? All this knowledge, all this art, all this wisdom. Nothing in the Io of today can match that. Nothing. It's like comparing a sea full of secrets with a puddle of muddy water.
How do you know all this?
Some of it from writings, some of it's just connecting the dots. I know how many scholars are out there at the universities giving their talks about the inscrutable empire, but it's not nearly as inscrutable as they say. Their problem is they're trying to understand the Shapers by reading books and dusty tablets. That's not how it works. You need to get out there, into the field. And even if it takes years of fruitless digging, eventually you're bound to stumble onto something. Another piece of the mosaic.
Very poetic.
Because it is.
My father always told me the Shaper Empire relied a lot on slaves.
What? No, that's rubbish. The Shapers had castes, yes, and it's probably the lower castes your father was referring to. But to call these slaves is like calling, say, a tanner who was born outside a royal family a slave, just because he'll never be a king. And even the very lowest caste, the Zalanyur, always had enough to eat, a roof over their heads, and could, without paying a single coin, get themselves healed by a cleric if they needed to. So if you think that's unjust, go ahead. Ask an Everlight beggar which era he'd rather live in. He's not a slave, yes, but in some ways he's worse off.
And how exactly did their empire come to be? They must have conquered quite a few nations.
They had the liberty of being the first living civilization on our EO, at least as far as we know. That made it easier to maintain peace and stability. Until the end and the dragons.
And yet, they died out.
Yeah. Great mystery.
Most scholars think it was the dragons.
They do, but I doubt it. You saw what the Shapers were capable of. Even a race as powerful as the dragons couldn't have wiped them out. And you see the shape the city is in, Tahar. There's no traces of fire and destruction. But regardless of what it was, it doesn't change the fact that the way the current races of this world treat the Shapers is nothing short of pathetic. They were greater than we'll ever be. But instead of studying this greatness, we ignore them. And why? Just because it doesn't fit into our religion, our traditions, or whatever reason they can come up with. Because to many, admitting what a marvel the Shapers truly were would mean admitting that our culture is pale in comparison.
Is our world really that bad?
That depends on your expectations. We could do worse, certainly, but if this is as good as we can get, then I have nothing to feel but pity.
Maybe you're right. There's a lot we could learn from the Shapers.
There is. In any case, I suppose you found your answer, haven't you? This is what fascinates me about the Shapers. They're a reminder of what we could be, if only we wanted to.
I see. Well, thanks for the explanation, Iskrim. I appreciate it. Goodbye. Understood. Got it. Will do. Let's see. All right, let's get to the chase. We need to discuss where and how we start our search. You're all familiar with the objective?
Find the Forge Stones, reignite the Nexus, decipher the song with it, and put an end to the Bloodburn.
That's about it. Area thinks that someone removed the Nexus stones shortly before the city was abandoned, but they left markers on the stone map. And now that we have a small army backing us up, we can start searching. Iskrim?
Yeah, we suspect one of the stones to be in the desert of Aenir's Blade, probably in the possession of the Iron Falcons, whereas the other one is on an unknown island.
An unknown island?
Correct. And yes, the oceans might have long taken it, which is why the only way to find out is to build a ship. And to...
Wait. That island. Does it happen to be in the northwest? In the Black Sea?
I think so.
That is interesting. 2 years ago, there was an archaeologist in Everlight who claimed the same. That there was an island in the Black Sea, unknown to our cartographers.
Did he find it?
That is a complicated story. But building a ship would take months, and this is a trail we could follow. If we go to Everlight, I can tell you more.
Well, it does sound promising.
And intriguing. So, where do we go first, Tahar? Everlight or Aenir's Blade?
I'll think about it and let you know when we head out. For now, just get prepared.
Will do, Corporal.
Yes? Understood.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles, though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city has its own mountain of the biggest ones being the ever-growing gap between the rich and the poor, an uncontrollable rise in crime, and the purity of Light's aggressive crusade for new followers.
Yes?
Interesting.
I'll keep you shielded!
Blood.
They will fall. Now would you look at that? Got it. Let's see.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
they won't stand a chance.
All right.
Whatever's necessary.
I understand.
All right, why not?
Got it.
Sure. Blasted armor.
Will do. Now would you look at that?
Sounds like a plan.
Here we are. Everlight. What now?
We need to find the archaeologist. His name was, I believe, Sir Ilbertus Watley.
Everlight is a big city.
That's true. But the Creators Guild might be a good place to start. As far as I know, he asked them for funding. Come, let's go.
Focus, Uriah. Focus.
Everlight. I didn't think I'd set foot in here again so soon.
Have you been here before?
A long time ago, yes. That was still during the wars. It looked quite different at that time.
I can imagine. It is a beautiful city, but it has a dark side, too. People disappear every day.
Interesting.
That's the way?
Sure. That way?
Let's see.
Wait, you there. Yes, you. Could you spare a moment?
Me?
Yes. You're military, aren't you? You must be. I can tell by the way you're walking.
Former military, yeah. Why do you ask?
Well, I don't know how to say this, but I could really use your help. My daughter, Rosa, she didn't come back from the river last noon. Now, she was always a stubborn child, but it's been over a day now, and that doesn't seem like her at all. I'd go look for myself, but as you can see, my legs don't work like they should anymore.
What happened to your legs?
I'd prefer not to talk about it. It's a painful memory, as you can imagine.
What are you people doing out here anyway?
Isn't it obvious? Waiting for admission.
You are refugees?
Yes. Howard folk, to be precise. We made it all the way here just to be told that the city's full. But then again, I get why they're doing this. I really do. Everlight has only so much bread and shelter to spare for strangers with no more belongings. But Rosa gone. That's an entirely different story.
What about the Everlight Guard? Did you talk to them yet?
The guard? They barely have time to keep the city's streets safe. They aren't going to waste any on a refugee.
You're well articulated. May I ask what you did before?
Before that bloody war tore everything to pieces, I was a herbalist. But all that, my store, our house, it got burnt to the ground by the rebels. It's strange. My life back then, it doesn't even feel real anymore. You know, we have all these things that we think define us, that we think have substance, but they don't. One day you wake up and they're gone. But I'm sorry. I digress.
All right, I'll go see if I can find your daughter. You said she went to the river?
Yes, to clean out my wrappings. She's around 5 feet tall, has blonde, long hair, and a birthmark on her right cheek. Thank you, sir. You have no idea how much that means to me. Just find her, please.
Understood.
Understood.
Made your peace. Good.
Patience! Not yet!
Of course.
This way, right?
I need help over here.
You got it. Sure.
I need help over here. Focus area. Focus.
That way? Sounds like a plan.
What's next?
All right, why not?
Flank them!
I'll make it quick.
Highwaymen. So close to Everlight, though. That's strange.
Yeah.
Now, would you look at that?
Prepare yourselves.
That way?
You'll regret this.
Control. Need control.
Yes?
As you want. It will be bloody.
You read my mind.
I understand. I'll do what's required.
Let's see.
You got it.
More fighting. Does this never end?
So much blood.
Sure.
Interesting.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
Let's see. Now would you look at that? Blazes. Blonde hair. Birthmark on the cheek. That's the old man's daughter.
They made her suffer before they killed her. I can still sense her echo.
Let's go back to the old man. He'll want to know.
You got it.
Tahar, I do not think it's wise to tell that old man about what the bandits did to his daughter.
Why?
It would only make him suffer more. Tell him she fell and broke her neck. That way, he will not have to spend the rest of his life picturing her final moments.
That way?
I'll be swift.
Blasted armor.
As you want.
Yes? Did you find her?
Well, there's no good way to say it. Rosa is dead. She slipped while getting water and broke her neck.
She... What? What do you mean?
What I just said. We found her body near the river. I'm sorry for your loss.
But... No. No, that's not possible. She was always graceful, dexterous. She wouldn't have fallen. You must have found someone else. I will go look for her myself once the legs have recovered. She She's still out there. I can feel it.
Look, sir, she had the birthmark. It was your daughter.
It wasn't. Now, please go. I need to rest. And then I need to prepare. Yes, I have to.
What a goddamn mess. Such a young girl, abused and murdered. Sometimes I wonder what's wrong with this world.
Hold it right there. What's your business in this city? You one of the refugees? There's been an awful lot lately.
Has there?
You bet. Iskander folk, Utram, Leonide, or even elves. They all want to get behind the walls.
Well, I'm not a refugee.
You know what? I even believe you. Then what's your business?
I'm an adventurer.
Really? You got that look about you. Funny, before I signed up with the Guard, I used to be an adventurer too. But then I took... never mind. You're not here to hear an old Guard rambling on about better days. Go on inside. Just behave yourself and you'll be fine.
Yes?
Of course.
Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need. Good choice.
You! Yes, you! Oh, stranger! Would you be so kind and help a wretched man? A terrible curse befell me, and you look bold enough to come to my aid. I cannot eat, I cannot sleep, I cannot smith. You just might be my only hope. You! Yes, you! Oh,
Sounds, tragic. What kind of curse is it? The magical one?
what? No, no, it is far worse than that. It is the curse of love. My sweet Jane and I are kept from each other by our cruel families. I come from one of the most noble elven families. Yes, I might have chosen the simple life of a blacksmith over the comforts of nobility, but that did not stop my father from meddling in my affairs. My father and Jane's family are plotting against us. Our parents' schemes have gone so far that they do not even allow Jane to see me anymore. I am sure it is her father who is behind it. He simply cannot accept my decision to forfeit the noble life. However, I have devised a plan to reunite Jane and me. But to carry it out, I need your help.
That guy may be odd, but his craftsmanship is excellent. Didn't you say we might need a smith for our army?
How can I help you?
Ask.
Ask what?
Why, about Jane and me? You must have millions of questions, and I do not blame you. Such fierce display of emotions can be overwhelming for the poor soul who has never felt them.
All right. Then tell me a bit more about Jane.
Oh, where should I start? She is the most divine being ever known to walk the earth. The moment I met her on a sweet summer's day, I knew she was the one. We shared the most beautiful night of fiery passion, and it soon became clear that we were meant to be together. These enchanted eyes, her hair golden and sweet like molten honey, her shapely cheeks with a touch of rose like a blossoming flower, her slender waist like...
Yeah, I get it. Thanks. Why did you become a smith and not a nobleman?
Oh, it is simple. My father might be a noble, but he has achieved status and respect through hard work and determination. It was always my intention to follow the same path. Wealth makes people complacent. I wanted to earn my keep, and that my father does not see the true virtuous intentions behind my decision saddens me even more.
I don't have any more questions. Let's discuss your plan. How do you want me to help you? I'd rather not take on the Everlight nobility.
Oh, do not worry. This will not be necessary. All you have to do is deliver this potion to Jane. It's the milk of the poppy mixed with fire nettle, a very potent sleeping potion. Once ingested, it mimics death for around 24 hours. She and I will both drink it, and I paid the mortician to not embalm our bodies and cover up our escape. Tonight, at sunset, we shall both drink it. Then, once we wake up, we will escape this wretched city forever and build a new life in a better world.
Milk of the poppy and fire nettle are both strong sedatives. Do you really think mixing the two is a good idea? You might die.
I will not. Trust me, one of my many virtues is an excellent knowledge in the art of alchemy. I know what I am doing.
Well, okay. I'll give this potion to Jane and tell her of your plan.
Splendid. Wonderful. You, brave traveler, are what's lacking in this world. Men and women who fight for the beauty of love. Speak to me once the deed has been done.
Are you really gonna give that woman Jane this potion? This sounds like one heck of a stupid plan.
Well, let's see what she has to say about it first.
right. Just be careful. You know, men can be irrational.
I do. Thanks, Dad.
Fair enough, then. I'll see you tonight for dinner. And please help Mother with these draperies, will you?
I will.
Are you Jane?
Yes, I am. Who is asking?
A friend. I was sent by Vilron to give you this potion.
Vilron? But what's in that flask? I'm sorry, but this is a little odd.
Well, it's a sleeping potion. He wants you to take it at sunset tonight, and he will do the same. It will mimic death, so you can escape from your families and be together. Or, at least, that was the plan.
Oh, I see. Well, I hate to say it, but you're a little misinformed. Vilron and I had a lovely evening together, and yes, we kissed, but that's about it. He's not really my type. Too impulsive, too, syrupy.
That's not the way Vilron told it. He said you love him as much as he loves you, and that it's your parents keeping you from each other.
Oh, by Tiara. Yes, I told him that I loved him that night because it felt right in that moment, but then he started writing me these poems and sonnets, and by now I think there isn't a single flower he hasn't compared me to. And then he sent that letter where he asked me how we should name our children. That was the moment I, well, needed some distance. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good man, but I just can't deal with his enthusiasm. I'm sure he will find a girl that will appreciate his sonnets, but it just isn't me.
Oh my, that's kind of funny.
Then what do you want me to tell Vilron? I have to stop him from taking that potion tonight, and waking up all alone in the morgue.
Well, if you're going to talk to him anyway, tell him the truth. Trying to spare him from rejection led to this entire situation. Tell him that I really appreciated our time together and that I know he will find true love sooner or later.
All right then. Sorry for bothering you.
Oh no, you didn't bother me in the least. This entire situation is unfortunate. Thank you for helping us resolve all this. I was too much of a coward to do it myself. Goodbye.
Will do.
No, Penelope. You cannot do this to me, he loudly screamed, full of pain and anguish. Penelope softly cast him a mournful glance. Her eyes dreamily drifted off towards the merciless and cold winter sky. But I have to, she silently whispered, full of remorse. Her tender breath tenderly caressed his haggard cheekbones, mockingly. My heart beats with yearning when I see her sweet and lovely face. For you, oh my former beloved, my feelings resemble the deepest...
What is it?
What was that? What did you just read?
That was an excerpt from my novel, The Shackles of Desire. Do you like it?
You should cut back on the adverbs a little.
What? No! I need to communicate what my characters are feeling. What do you think the readers are? Telepaths? In a book, there's only the writing that can carry information, unlike in the plays. But who am I even talking to? It's obvious you're a simpleton. Just move along, will you? I have hearts to kindle.
Let's see. Now would you look at that?
Axes, daggers, swords. Everything for the weary traveler. A fair offer.
You will not enjoy this.
Control.
You'll regret this.
Control.
We'll hold our ground.
Fine.
Is this really necessary?
Interesting.
I'll do what's required. As you want. Of course.
Now would you look
You're
at
back! So tell me, did you complete your glorious quest?
Yeah, about that. Vilron, I don't think Jane will be drinking that potion. She isn't interested in fleeing Everlight with you.
Why would she not want to come with me?
Well, she told me that she has really appreciated you and the time the two of you spent together, but she's not yet ready to commit to you. She wanted me to tell you she's very sorry for leading you on.
By the... That surely must be her evil father's doing. The Jane I know would never give up on us that easily. No. No. We cannot let him manipulate my sweet Jane like this. Ride with me, warrior of love. We shall free Jane from that tyrant's oppression once and for all.
Wait, Vilron. Before you do anything, stop for a minute and think. You've known this girl for 2 weeks, right? And yes, you shared one romantic evening together, but that's about all. What do you really know about her?
What? What do you mean?
I mean, maybe you fell in love with an idea of Jane, not Jane herself.
But no. No, that can't be it. Or can it?
Don't blame yourself. We all get a little overzealous when we first find love.
But no. No, it can't be over. This is how love works, is it not? It's what the poets always say and the bards always sing. Though, maybe there is truth in your words. Maybe I got too excited. Oh, blazes. Why didn't I see this? Oh, god damn it. I can't believe this really happened.
Actually, if you want to turn the page and start over, I might have an offer for you. My men are in need of an elven smith in Mullendeer. You can come with me and forget all about this.
Mullendeer? The ancient Shaper city?
Yes, we found it. It's a long story, but I can tell you all you need to know on the way. And we can pay you.
I don't know. I can't just leave my smithy, can I? Then again, everything here reminds me of her.
You don't need to leave forever. Just stay with us until our mission is completed.
All right then. You convinced me. Let me get my things first, and then I'll meet you at the border. And thanks again for telling me the truth.
Quite the speech you gave him.
Just common sense.
I'll be swift.
He rattled the dwarf full of gold. Saved by the crowd, who was told not to trust dwarves, and behold, shady pirates boarding for some sunken mold.
Let's
This
see.
blasted elf, he just won't shut his trap.
What's wrong?
He's been citing poems for days. They don't make sense and they are horrendous. Someone should either pay him to leave or show him we don't want him here.
That wasn't a particularly good poem.
Rats with their hairy, ugly butts. They gnawed on our nuts, dangling dead between our legs. But maybe we fend them off next.
Sure.
Understood.
That's the way?
Sounds like a plan. Get ready!
More lost souls. Pleasant surprise.
What do you require?
You got it.
Danger up ahead!
Play strong time.
I'll keep you shielded! Armors and shields, everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords. Farewell.
Fine.
Whatever's necessary.
They won't stand a chance.
Now would you look at that?
Shh. Can't you see I'm paying my respect?
Sounds like a plan. That way?